Hey guys, it's Doug Lutz with Owner's Choice Realty, powered by Keller Williams. Sitting here today with Drexel Swanson with USA Mortgage, one of the top lenders in town, and we've got a few. I'm going to ask Drexel a few questions and hopefully get you guys some answers that you need. First question is, do you guys have a loan program for whether it's somebody that's doing their first time home buyer, or maybe they're selling that first home and stepping up to their second home?
Sure, Doug. Yeah, we have the USDA program that requires no down payment. That's a real popular program. But if you're working with a down payment or you don't meet those guidelines, there's always there's a first-time home buyer FHA loan program where the state will assist you with your down payment. So there's always a big myth that you have to have a down payment to buy a house. If you're a move-up buyer, there's always the conventional loan. If you're selling your house and you have equity in your house, obviously the more money you can put down, the cheaper your mortgage insurance is going to be. So when you put 20% down on a home loan, you don't have mortgage insurance. So if you're going to be selling your house and you have the equity in your house, then it's best to try to put it down on your next house to avoid that mortgage insurance. But you can do a conventional loan with 5% down, 10% down, 15%, or 20%. And also, if you have a lot of equity in your house and you want to pay off some credit card bills and pay your car off and stuff, and then use a couple of maybe the 100% loan programs that are out there to where you don't have a down payment on the next house you buy, then you can use that to consolidate some debt and get some of your debt paid off.
That's great. Thank you. Next question is, everybody's seen the interest rates go up a little bit here recently, still historically low, but what is it that you're seeing?
Well, they are gradually going up. The government had the rates artificially low for the past several years. You're not going to see that 3% interest rate anymore, unfortunately, or we don't think you're going to. But historically, the rates are still low. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now's the time to do it. The market's good. Houses are selling really fast. Interest rates are still affordable, and obviously if you're selling your house and moving up, you're probably going to buy a more expensive house. So the interest rate being as low as you can possibly get it is important right now. So I think they're going to stay, kind of where they're at and maybe creep up through the rest of the year, but I'm not the guy that makes that decision. So I would just, if you're thinking about selling now or buying now, it'd be a good time because rates are still historically low.
Right, and none of us are smart enough to where we can time those rates, and they're not going to go down in the near future. I think today's the day to get out there and get that house bought.
I would agree.
Next question: somebody is, say, a home buyer is looking to buy a home. They have no idea what to do. What's their first thing they need to do?
First thing they need to do is they need to call their lender, hopefully USA Mortgage, and get pre-qualified for your home loan. That's always a big step because with the market being as good as it is right now, there's often multiple offers on a house. So you need a pre-qualification letter in your hand. It's an easy process. We can talk on the phone. You can do an online application. Take us 3 to 5 minutes to get the information. Take me another 10 minutes to put it in and analyze it, and be able to tell you whether I can issue a pre-qualification letter now, or if we have a few issues to work through before we can get there, then we get the pre-qualification letter to Doug, and then Doug's free to go show you property, and he's got a very qualified buyer in his car.
Right. A lot of times when we are showing homes, if we're getting ready to present that offer, the listing agent is saying, hey, you need to send over a pre-qualification letter with that. There's times where you're seeing 4, 5, 6 offers on a house. If yours is the one without a pre-approval letter, you're just not going to get the house.
Absolutely. It's as close as it can be to making you a cash buyer with a pre-qualification letter. It's not totally underwriter approved, but you meet the guidelines. And if you've got 5 different people competing for that house and you don't have your pre-qualification letter in hand, you're not going to be in the consideration.
Yep. Okay. Last question. You found your dream house. You're under contract. Tell me the things that you just don't want to do before closing.
Don't change jobs. Don't switch from hourly to commission. Don't don't get new credit. You're going to see a million advertisements now that you're under contract for furniture, no money down, no interest for 2 years. Unfortunately, when they pull your credit and then we do a stopgap credit report prior to closing, it's going to show up that you have had a credit inquiry pulled against you, and we're going to have to explain that. So if you've just bought your house full of furniture, now you got to explain to the underwriter, and then we have to get a credit supplement, get the new payment put on your credit report. You're going to delay closing a couple weeks, and you may not qualify for a house. It depends on what it does to your debt to income ratio.
Right. I've seen those that, somebody goes and gets a new truck and they say, well, my payment's exactly the same. Well, just because your payment's the same doesn't mean that you don't owe more, which is going to mess up your debt to income ratio.
Absolutely. And now we got to get the old truck off your credit report, the new truck on your credit report, and it's not as easy as just calling them up and getting it on there. It's a process. So you're going to delay your closing if you do something like that.
Right. So moral of the story is don't do anything until after closing.
Absolutely. Day after closing, go buy your furniture. Underwriter's done with you.
Great. All right. Well, thanks, Drexel. I appreciate your time, and hopefully we've answered some questions for our audience.
Great. Thanks, Dave.